Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's live broadcast, The Immunity Opportunity, Beta Glucan from Algae. I'm Kaylin Chiarello-Ebner, the Managing Editor of Special Projects for Nutritional Outlook, and I'll be your moderator for today's event. We are pleased to bring you this webcast presented by Nutritional Outlook and sponsored by Kemin Human Nutrition and Health. I'd like to share a statement from our sponsor. Kemin Human Nutrition and Health develops science-backed dietary ingredients that provide immune, eye, and brain health solutions to meet the needs of today's consumers. Kemin's functional ingredients have been used in over 100 studies to ensure they provide relevant health benefits to consumers and to help improve their quality of life. They continue to research and develop new methods for their plant-based science to touch lives around the world. We have a few important announcements before we begin. This webcast is designed to be interactive, and we encourage you to ask questions during the event. You can submit questions by typing them in the Q&A box, which can be found on the right-hand side of your screen. You can enlarge the slide window by clicking on the small square icon in the upper right-hand corner of the slide window, or by hovering your mouse over the lower right-hand corner and dragging the window to the desired size. The slides will advance automatically during the event. If you have any technical problems viewing or hearing this presentation, please click on the question mark help widget in the dock at the bottom of your presentation window. I'd now like to introduce today's speakers. We are pleased to be joined today by Kim Edwards, MBA, Chris Sodawasser, and Dr. Anisha Rathi. Kim Edwards is the Global Product Manager at Kemin Human Nutrition and Health, developing and leading the marketing strategies for dietary brain health and immunity ingredients. Kim is up for the challenge to help meet a growing global demand for brain health and immunity ingredients. Expanding the brand awareness and sales of Numentix and Beta-Via is an opportunity that she relishes. These ingredients further improve the lives of the consumers by offering cognitive health and immunity benefits. A graduate of the University of Iowa's Tippie College of Business eMBA program, she has a proven track record of achieving results throughout her 25 years of strategic business-to-business marketing and sales experience at many Midwest best-in-class companies. Chris Sodawasser is a technical services manager for Kemin Human Nutrition and Health. His role is to provide support to customers as they evaluate and implement new ingredients in the dietary supplement and functional food market. Previously, Chris served as a scientist for a nutritional protein company where he helped develop new products for food and supplement applications. He earned his Master's of Business Administration from Drake University and holds a bachelor's degree in biochemistry, cell and molecular biology, and education. Dr. Anisha Rathi is a technical services manager at Kemin Human Nutrition and Health. In her current role, she acts as the scientific expert in generating and communicating scientific information to both internal and external stakeholders in the dietary supplement and functional food market. With her extensive scientific knowledge and dynamic communication skills, she bridges the gap between the research and development and the commercial side of the business throughout a product's life cycle. Anisha earned her PhD at the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences in biochemistry and molecular biology in 2011. Prior to Kemin, she worked at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital as a scientist developing anti-cancer therapeutic strategies. She has published several scientific research articles in internationally renowned journals in the fields of molecular biology, immunology, and cancer research. Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. Kim, please get us started.
Thanks, Kaylin. Appreciate that introduction, and welcome to the Immunity Opportunity. I'm Kim Edwards, the Global Product Manager responsible for Kemin's immune health ingredients, Beta-Via Pure and Beta-Via Complete. Today, my colleagues and I will be sharing information about the immune market, beta-glucans, specifically Kemin's immune support ingredients, Beta-Via Pure and Beta-Via Complete. We'll also take a look at how your business may benefit from formulating with these two immune ingredients. And then we'll take a deeper look into what Beta-Via is, a 1,3-beta-glucan derived from Euglena. We'll look at how your business may benefit from formulating with these two immune ingredients, and we'll take a look deeper into what Beta-Via is, a 1,3-beta-glucan derived from Euglena. and why this is important, and other additional benefits that this delivers to our customers in the market. Finally, we'll explain how Beta-Via works within the body. So let's get started and take a look at where we're at today in the global immune supplement market. According to a reported published study as of December 2017 by Persistence Market Research titled Immune Health Supplements Market, Global Industry Analysis and Forecast 2017 to 2025, the global immune health supplement market reached a value of $14.4 billion in 2017. That same report goes on to say that the global immune health supplement market is growing at a compound annual growth rate of 7%. So as you can see from the slide, the market in 2025 is expected to be $25 billion. That's over a 73% growth in 8 years. So why such a big growth rate? Well, there's several things that are happening here. It can be contributed to many factors. The first and the primary reason is the expected growth rate is an increase in consumer awareness of health issues, especially with the increase in popularity of health and wellness. Second, consumers have increased awareness on the benefits of dietary supplements. And third, the rise of the baby boomer population. So together and combined, when you look at all of this information, Kemen is calling this the immunity opportunity. So we know from the Council for Responsible Nutrition, the 2018 data, that dietary supplements in general are used by the majority of adults in the United States. That's at least 75% of the adults in the U.S. were taking supplements. And this has grown from 2009, where we were just taking 65% of the population was taking supplements. So according to the NHANES survey data, which included over 5,500 adults aged 20 and over, staying healthy and immune health benefits are among the most prevalent reported motivations for use of dietary supplements, beating out joint, colon, and heart health. In a similar study conducted by the Harvard Opinion Research Program in 2016, which included over 1,500 adults age 18 and over, immune health was found to be one of the top 3 reasons people took supplements in the past 2 years. Again, beating out heart disease, cholesterol, weight control, and digestive issues. Last and most current from the 2018 CRN consumer survey on dietary supplements, 1/3 of consumers within the ages of 35 to 54 years old stated their immune health is a key reason for taking supplements. And in that same report, 1/4 of consumers within the ages of 18 to 34 years indicated that immune health is a key reason for them to take supplements. Kemen also conducted a survey of its own, speaking to 1,200 supplement users to better understand their attitudes and usage of immune health supplements. So this survey covered 3 generations, millennials, Gen X, and baby boomers. Each generation had equal participation between both men and women. Kemen found that 70% of the surveyed population planned on taking immune support supplements in the future, which supports the persistent market research findings that I shared earlier. And this represents a unique opportunity from those individuals taking immune supplements versus those that plan to take immune supplements. As we dive deeper in the immune health discussion with survey takers, Kemen also found that messaging focused on supporting and boosting immune health. And that resonated best with vitamin and supplement users and should be emphasized in communications. For example, claims that positively impacted supplement users were statements like, supports year-round immune health, supports a healthy immune system. And surprisingly, specific claims did not resonate as well. An example would be, helps athletes stay healthy after intense exercise. If you're interested in more consumer information from our attitude and usage survey, contact us directly, or you can input a question in the question box. So let's take a look at the immunity opportunity. It isn't solely limited to the supplement market. The functional food and beverages in the United States is projected to be over $2 billion in 2020. And as you can see on this chart on your screen, all of the regions have an impressive compound annual growth rate. The United States is 13.9, and right behind the United States, the Asia Pacific region has a compound annual growth rate of 16.3%. So when we look at the expansion of the functional food market, coupled with consumers' increased interest in the immune support supplement space, all in an effort to stay healthy, this points to a real business opportunity for companies that emphasize immune support claims. Kemen's beta-glucan ingredients are worth further examination to help you meet this growing demand of immune support. Specifically, beta-glucans, which have been shown to prime immune cells, help to keep the immune system functioning at its best. From Kemen's Consumer Attitude and Usage Survey, after aided awareness, consumers had a high purchase intent. I'm going to turn it over to Chris Sodawasser, who's going to share more exciting information about Kemen's beta-vita ingredients from beta-glucans. Chris?
Thanks, Kim. I'm Chris Sodawasser, Technical Service Manager for Kemen Health. Today I'm going to introduce Kemen's new immune health ingredients that are sourced from our microalgae, Euglena gracilis. The key active in these ingredients is beta-glucan. As Kim just mentioned, purchase intent was high based on the benefits of beta-glucan specifically, and the benefits of beta-vita pure and beta-vita complete as well. This is positive considering respondents were supplement users who reported being satisfied with their current regimen. In order to understand why consumers were so interested in beta-vita ingredients, we'll walk through what beta-glucan is and what the advantages of Kemen's unique source are. So what is beta-glucan? To understand how beta-vita ingredients work, it's important to understand the basics of what a beta-glucan is. Beta-glucans are long chains of glucose molecules found in a variety of different cells, including cereal grains like oat and barley, fungi, bacteria, and algae. The chains of glucose molecules are connected through glycosidic bonds, and the location of these bonds between the carbons is how beta-glucans are categorized. The molecule above is a beta-1,3 glucan, and from this magnified image, you can see that the glycosidic bond sits between the first carbon on the molecule to the left and the third carbon on the molecule to the right. In cells like yeast and bacteria, beta-glucans are part of the structural backbone of the cell wall. They consist of 1,3 beta-glucan with side branches at the 1,6 location. As a structural component, there's generally a low proportion of beta-glucan in the total cell, oftentimes less than 10%. As a component of that cell wall, it's difficult to separate the beta-glucan from the other cellular components without additional processing to achieve that higher purity. The beta-glucan from Euglena gracilis has the function of energy storage and is free-floating within the cell and is easily recognized by the surface receptors of immune cells. You'll learn more about that later in the webinar. Lately, consumer awareness of beta-glucans has been growing due to advertising campaigns from companies like Quaker Oats and General Mills, who are educating consumers on the benefits of beta-glucans that naturally occur in their whole grain products, including oatmeal and Cheerios. But not all beta-glucans are the same. Different sources of beta-glucan can have different health benefits based on their function, structure, size, and solubility. On the left of this table, we can see some of the sources of beta-glucans. The structure column in the center helps us visualize those linkages between glucose molecules. Keep in mind that the location of the linkages determines the solubility of the molecule as well. Linkages at the 1,3 and 1,6 locations are insoluble, but linkages at the 1,4 location are soluble, which contributes to different health benefits. 1,4 beta-glucans in vegetables, such as vegetables as cellulose helps with GI motility to move things through the bowel and promote regularity. The alternating 1,3,1,4 beta-glucans found in oat and barley are partially soluble and is associated with cardiovascular benefits. The 1,3,1,6 beta-glucan from yeast and the 1,3 beta-glucan in Euglena are insoluble and have those immune modulating benefits because it's intact when it arrives in the small intestine where it can be recognized by immune cells. So now that you know the basics about beta-glucan, I'd like to show you a little more about Kemen's freshwater microalgae, the source of our new beta-glucan immune health ingredients. It's a proprietary strain of Euglena gracilis. Euglena can be grown both heterotrophically or autotrophically. Autotrophic growth is when algae uses the sun to create energy through photosynthesis, storing energy in the chloroplast. That's the stuff that makes plants and some species of algae green. This is how plants tend to generate the energy they need to survive. Heterotrophic growth is when algae is fed nutrients and minerals. When Euglena is fed heterotrophically, it stores energy in the form of paramylon, which is made up of linear beta-1,3-glucan, that active component for immune health, and it's found in a tightly wound helical formation. Instead of a cell wall, which is common in plants, Euglena only has a pellicle or a protein-rich membrane surrounding it. This feature is important because the membrane contains amino acids that contribute to the protein content of beta complete. The membrane is also important because it can be easily broken to release the free-floating beta-glucan containing paramylon granules to achieve that higher purity of beta-glucan with very minimal processing, which is unlike yeast and bacteria where we need enzymatic digestion to achieve that higher purity. Let's look a little closer at the paramylon. As I mentioned earlier, heterotrophic growth results in energy being stored as paramylon granules, which are made of long chains of linear 1,3 beta-glucan. The gray picture shows a microscopic view of the paramylon granules. These granules are made of tightly wound linear 1,3 beta-glucan. These paramylon granules are the secret to the immune health benefits of Kemen's Beta Via ingredients. The 1,3 beta-glucan is recognized by key immune cells as a pathogen-associated molecular pattern. Immune cells in the body are programmed to recognize these types of patterns, and when they do, it leads to a priming of the immune system. And the immune system becomes more prepared to defend the body from bad bacteria and viruses. At Kemen, we really specialize in natural and branded ingredients that are really purposely cultivated and extensively researched to promote health and well-being. Throughout all of our business units, Kemen has been committed to promoting immune health for the past several years. Beta V ingredients are our first offering of immune health in the human nutrition market. As Kim mentioned earlier in the presentation, the immune health market is experiencing growth as consumers continually find ways to stay healthy. Beta V ingredients provide a new, natural, GMO-free source of beta-glucan that can be easily incorporated into immune health formulations and functional foods. Beta Via Complete is a dried whole cell Euglena with greater than 50% beta-glucan, also contains protein and other nutrients. Beta Via Pure is 95% beta-glucan, created by isolating that beta-glucan-rich paramylon granules from the Euglena gracilis. Because of the unique characteristics of Euglena, Kemen is able to yield two different ingredients from that fermentation process. The Euglena from both Beta Via Pure and Beta Via Complete are heterotrophically grown in enclosed tanks using patented fermentation processes. Both fermentation processes maximize the storage of beta-glucan within the Euglena, and the closed tanks really minimize the exposure to weather and other contamination that might occur when algae is grown in open ponds or raceways, common in other algae production. After fermentation, Beta Via Complete is then dried and milled to create that whole cell algae powder. This contains all of the cellular components of the algae, including the micronutrients and protein, in addition to that greater than 50% beta-glucan. The presence of these additional nutrients and protein is what gives the golden hue seen in the image of the product there at the top of the slide. At 50% beta-glucan, Beta-Via Complete has the highest beta-glucan content of a whole cell immune health ingredient with a dose of 375 milligrams per day. After fermentation, paramylon, or that beta-glucan, can be isolated from Euglena to make Beta-Via pure. The thin protein-rich membrane of the Euglena is easily broken and separated from the rest of the cell. Since the paramylon granules are free-floating within Euglena, they're easily isolated without using chemical processes or enzymatic digestion in order to manufacture the product. Once isolated, the paramylon beta-glucan granules are dried into a white powder. Through this process, we are able to achieve greater than 95% beta-glucan, the purest available beta-glucan form on the market, with a low efficacious dose of 200 milligrams per day. Now I'm going to turn the presentation over to Anisha, who will tell you more about how Beta-Via ingredients are able to help support immune health.
Thanks, Chris. Hello, everyone. I'm Anisha Rathi, Technical Services Manager for Chemin Health. In the next section of the webinar, I'll talk about how beta-glucan works in our bodies to enhance immunity. I'll also go over results from a recent study demonstrating immune health benefits of Beta-Via in a group of healthy individuals. Before we talk specifically about how beta-glucan interacts with immune cells on a cellular level, we will take a step back and think about the body. When whole cell algae is ingested, it first enters the stomach. Here, the algae is exposed to stomach acids and enzymes. The non-beta-glucan components, such as protein, dissolve in the stomach conditions. This frees the paramylon granules from rest of the algae. The beta-glucan fiber is stable in these conditions and remains undigested through the stomach and into the small intestine. And in the small intestine, beta-glucan also remains undigested, and there it is recognized and taken up by immune cells. In a simulated digestion, we confirmed that the algae beta-glucan in Beta-Via Complete and Beta-Via Pure survived digestion in an in vitro trial. In the picture of Beta-Via Complete in water on the top left, you can see large dark clumps of algae. When exposed to the acid conditions of the stomach, those algae components of Beta-Via Complete are dissolved, leaving just the small undigested paramylon granules. These granules also remain undigested in the small intestine conditions. Beta-Via Pure does not have the algae components because they were separated out during processing. So we only see the paramylon granules in water in the picture on the top right with no large algae clumps. Those granules also survive through the acidic conditions and conditions of the small intestine. It's important that these granules remain undigested in the gut so the immune cells can recognize the chains of beta-glucan that Chris described earlier. After being swallowed, the beta-1,3-glucan reaches the small intestine where certain immune cells, such as macrophages and dendritic cells, recognize beta-1,3-glucan through a variety of cell surface receptors, such as dectin-1, and then ingest the beta-glucan granule. These cells then become activated and will more quickly attack, ingest, and destroy foreign cells and disease-causing organisms. These cells also release signaling molecules called cytokines and chemokines that activate various immune functions and recruit additional immune cells to the intestines. The cells of the innate immune system, such as macrophages and dendritic cells, express recognition receptors as a means to detect pathogens or the damage induced by them. In this schematic here, the blue represents such cells and the black represents its receptors. These receptors are referred to as pattern recognition receptors or PRRs. They recognize specific patterns of chemical structures called pathogen-associated molecular patterns or PAMPs, shown in yellow here, that are common to groups of related microbes. PAMPs are structures present as part of many microorganisms but absent in our bodies and are evolutionarily conserved, making them excellent targets for recognition because they don't change over the course of time. One such example of a PAMP is beta-13-glucan. Beta-glucan is evolutionarily conserved component of the cell wall of many disease-causing bacteria and fungi and constitute a PAMP which is recognized by the immune cells such as macrophages and dendritic cells through a variety of immune surface receptors or PRRs such as dectin-1. The immune cells then engulf the beta-glucan granule and become activated, causing a rapid and efficient recognition, engulfment, and destruction of foreign pathogens. So beta-glucan helps prime the immune system in fighting better against external challenges, most commonly being the microbes causing upper respiratory tract infections or URTIs. We can actually see this happening in vitro. On the left, the blue arrow indicates the big gray macrophage and the red arrow points to paramyelin granule of beta-glucan. When the paramyelin comes into contact with the cell surface receptors on the macrophage, the receptors recognize the granule and engulf it into itself. The small size of the granule is also important as it can easily fit inside the macrophage. The picture on the right shows a macrophage that has engulfed 4 granules already and is in the process of engulfing a 5th. And you can actually see the cell membrane starting to wrap around the granule. This macrophage will then break down the granules into smaller chunks of beta-glucan. These smaller chunks will then be released along with cytokines and chemokines to signal to other immune cells to be prepared for an attack. This action leads to immune cells being primed and ready to deal with an actual attack from antigens. Once the beta-glucan makes it to the small intestine, where it interacts with cells of our immune system, those primed immune cells are able to travel through the body via a lymphatic and cardiovascular system, where they protect us from immune challenges. We saw the benefits of this immune priming in a clinical trial. The 90-day clinical trial was performed with an objective of assessing augmentation of the immune function during normal training, decrease in upper respiratory tract infection or URTI incidence rates, and counter immune changes in healthy endurance athletes using a Wisconsin Upper Respiratory Symptom Survey or WRS questionnaire, which I'll describe shortly. Participants in the study were healthy endurance athletes. We defined the training as performing endurance or cardiovascular exercise like cycling, swimming for 1.5 to 3 hours per day, 5 to 6 days per week. It is suggested that this volume of exercise leads to immunosuppression. So this population tends to experience more URTI symptoms than the average person. Age range was 21 to 65 with a BMI of 18 to 35. Again, this was a healthy population as judged by the investigator. Here's the parallel design of our study. Subjects were screened, then brought in for a baseline measurement. Subjects were either supplemented with beta-via complete or placebo daily. Subjects were asked to fill out the WRS questionnaire each day to assess their URTI symptoms over the 90-day period. At the end of 90 days, subjects finished the study with blood work and vitals to test for safety. Although the 30-day mark was not an actual visit, we evaluated the day 1 to day 30 window in addition to the entire 90-day period. This shows the well-validated WRS questionnaire used in the trial that was filled by each study participant every day. Those sections divide the survey into sick day questions, symptoms, and functional categories. Using the survey, we can evaluate based on what symptoms are present as well as the severity of those symptoms. For example, when we think about what happens when someone gets sick, we can understand how this becomes a very effective tool. One day you may wake up with a not so severe sore throat. You may not feel sick, so you would not report yourself as sick. Now the next day your sore throat may get more severe and you may start getting additional symptoms like runny nose. And as the cold progresses, we will see a greater number of symptoms and higher severity scores for those symptoms. So when symptoms are bad enough, a person will mark them as being sick. So this survey lets us break down the cold into individual symptoms as well as their severity. At the end of 90-day clinical study performed on these healthy endurance athletes, we found that Beta-Via complete supplementation helped significantly reduce the sick days, the number of symptoms, symptom days, episodes, and global severity. These results are very exciting and strongly supports the efficacy of Beta-Via complete in supporting a healthy immune system. These are the suggested claims on Beta-Via complete for supporting a healthy immune system. The mechanism by which Beta-Via complete enhances immune health is by priming key immune cells, getting engulfed by them, promoting immune cell signaling, and although not shown here, we have data suggesting that it also supports a healthy gut by promoting growth of the good bacteria in our digestive system. To summarize, we would like to leave you with a few key takeaways from our presentation today. First, there is a large opportunity in the growing global immune health market, both in projected market growth as well as consumer interest in immune health supplements. Secondly, beta-1,3-glucan from Euglena is an exciting ingredient for immune health. The natural algae source fits what consumers are looking for. Beta-Via could be great for formulation in functional foods, beverages, and supplements. Thirdly, beta-1,3-glucan directly interacts with key immune cells to support a healthy immune system. We would love for you to contact us, learn more about Beta-Via and the immunity opportunity in the market. Please feel free to leave your questions for us using the link provided in the seminar. Thank you so much for your time and attention today.
Thank you so much for that informative presentation. Now, before we get started on the Q&A session, I'd like to remind everyone how to submit questions. You can submit questions by typing them in the Q&A box, which can be found on the right-hand side of the presentation window. Okay, let's get to the first question. How easy is Beta-Via to formulate with?
Great. Well, I can answer that question. We have had very good results formulating with Beta-Via. The mild flavor is easily covered, and the algae doesn't impart much color into the product. Also, the additional micronutrients and protein can be a nice superfood addition to a product while adding those immune benefits.
Excellent. Thanks, Chris. Here's the next question. Do the findings of the study support immune health benefits in various populations?
I'll take that question. Yes, it not only applies to endurance athletes with a challenged immune system, but also to healthy individuals with a lifestyle that challenges their immune system, such as those with lack of proper sleep, healthy diet, and exercise.
Perfect. Thank you. Are there any other benefits that come from using Beta-Via?
Absolutely. Since the Beta-Via Euglena does not have a cell wall and it's surrounded by a thin cell membrane called a pellicle, it's very easy to break open and release all those beta-glucans from it. So it enables us to provide our customers with a raw ingredient that's easy to formulate with. It's at a very competitive price per dose, all while delivering strong immune benefits.
Excellent. Thanks, everyone. But unfortunately, we're now out of time. I'd like to thank the audience for attending and for participating in today's event. I would also like to thank our sponsor, Kemin Human Nutrition and Health, for making today's educational webcast possible. You'll receive an email alerting you when this webcast will be available for replay. We invite you to forward that announcement to your colleagues who may have missed today's live event. Thanks to everyone for joining, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.